Good morning. If we are hearing these words, no matter what place or time this might be, it is indicative of one's interest in being curious into meditation and mindfulness, or maybe just circumstance or happenstance. You've arrived here. It doesn't really matter. To some degree, it's all the same. Finding oneself in the act of allowing yourself to find a comfortable posture, whatever that means for you, allowing oneself to settle down, to begin to feel tranquil, find a sense and a state of ease, allowing oneself to begin a process of being receptive and more sensitive to our physicality, doing a scan inside of oneself. It can be on the surface too, feeling the surface of our skin. What do we notice right away when we do this? If we have clothes on, then we notice the feeling of the textures of the materials or how well they fit. Are they loose fitting or are they tight? Is it more difficult for us to move around because we have on a shirt or pants that are close fitting? Perhaps we are nude and we feel the textures of something that we are in close contact with, like a cushion or rolled up towel or a bed or maybe our feet touching something. But whatever circumstance we find ourselves in, we can, the vast majority of us can feel something going on. Being more and more aware of these feelings that are emanating from the sensory organ of feeling, one of our five senses. And continuing a sense of awareness about this, not ignoring it, not forgetting about it, not necessarily highlighting it intently, but just being aware, allowing it to proceed on its natural course of coming into and then fading out of our present awarenesses. And time is flowing, so our present awareness is changing. We are asked to change our focus onto something different, than the feelings of touching something are going to be more in our background, unless there's something that's maybe digging into our side or something like that, like a rock under our feet or under our buttocks or in our bed. But hopefully not. But you get the idea. It's intensity. What is the intensity of our feeling or our skin? The sense of touch. Now, let's investigate just under the skin. And what do we find? We have processes that are occurring simultaneously and consistently. We call our breathing and circulating processes. And we notice that we are feeling a sense of warmth. Or maybe in your environment where it's cold, it's not warmth, but you feel something inside that is helping you resist the cold. And maybe we have blankets or clothes on, contributing to help us maintain a sense of warmth, holding the warmth from radiating further outward, but containing it close to our skin, so that we have a feeling of warmth. Noticing this, being aware of one's skin, remembering this, remember to remember it from time to time. A lot of remembering. And we do this all day. I'm just asking us to do this now, more intently, for our senses, our sense of touch, our sense of feeling, and thinking about these processes that are culminating in the radiance of thermal energy up to our and through our skin. And putting it also aside, and this is basically our sensitivity of touch, of feeling different textures, different intensities, warmth and coolness. Let's go further inside. Remembering that our objective is to focus ourselves in a sense of mindfulness, in a meditative spirit, be more aware of our own being, our own aliveness, with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of purpose, a sense of objectivity as well, a sense of non-bias, of openness, of neutrality, as a witness, so that we can look with more integrity and honesty in what we are considering. That through this perspective, we can see and be more receptive to, more sensitive to concepts and ideas that we might find rising in our own consciousness about ourselves to help us decide where, how, when, the 5 W's and 1 H, we should proceed from here. What we're going to do today. That's far enough in the future. We have 86,400 moments to follow through. So it's a lot already. 1 year from now, in some sense, an eternity. For many species, it's an eternity. Homo sapiens, we are fortunate. We have lives that span decades of years. Looking inside, we find ourselves breathing. It's relatively easy to do. And even we have some sense of control over our breathing. Not completely, but a degree. We can breathe quickly and shallowly, or we can breathe slowly, more deeply, and everything and anything in between. I ask ourselves to consider to breathe more slowly, a little more deeply, and with a little more purpose, that we're aware of our breathing and perhaps simultaneously aware of the textures of the surface of our skin, our warmth, and whatever's in proximity to our skin, our environment, our clothing, etc. Further, I'm asking us to be aware of whatever else we might find inside. If you find something uncomfortable, then we have a sign saying that we should be analyzing our posture again. Perhaps we need to change it. Perhaps our noses are itching and we need to give it a scratch. Maybe one is thirsty and needs to be on pause for a moment while getting a glass of water or something like this. Maybe there's been an interruption and we need to consider something else for a few moments before returning to this. All of which are okay. It is part of our environment. It is part of our commitment to what we are accomplishing and doing, is that we must be flexible and adaptive to the world in which we live. What other processes can we come into contact with? Well, many of you know, of course, we're thinking about our pulse, about our heart squeezing, pressurizing the liquid in our veins and arteries to circumnavigate our bodies, to carry life-giving oxygen to our cells, and to, so to speak, take the garbage out, the carbon dioxide that we don't need, that we're going to expel for the plants and the trees to breathe. It's a symbiotic relationship between different forms of life on our sphere, on our planet Earth. It is a miracle that this is the way it is, that we are the way we are. So we're touching, we're breathing, we're pulsing, finding our pulse in as many places as we can. Where can we notice it? Is a game to play, to be more aware, to practice focusing and concentrating one's thoughts. This is meditation. This is mindfulness. Doing this, please. What else can we focus on and bring our powers of concentration toward? We've got our touch, we've got our breath, we've got our pulse. What else is there of interest that's going on in the interior of our bodies? Well, there are many things. There are countless things going on, more than I suspect that even the best of our scientists don't even know, because in many ways our knowledge is shallow. And though we have much more intensive awareness of what's going on in the complexity of our beings, there are many things that we are yet to know. But putting all that aside, we can begin to contemplate the fundamental of whom, of what we are. Beneath the pulse, beneath the warmth, beneath the motion of our chest rising and subsiding, very subtly, because it's happening millions of times a day, we have relegated this particular process to not only being taken for granted, but in a sense of non-existence. So it can come as a surprise for us when we finally make the decision to investigate what's going on. Very subtly, then, look inside. And if it's making ourselves a little nervous to do so, then go slowly. Take your time. Breathe. Pulse. Noticing oneself shimmer a little bit. Shimmer is a funny word, but I like to use this word. It has a connotation to it of energy, oscillating back and forth, up and down, all around. And that's what we're doing. We're shimmering all day long. Millions of cycles of energetic action. Being aware of this very subtle vibration. Once one feels this, it's not so subtle anymore. One, through practice, through the repetition of being aware, finds one has this resource of being able to focus and concentrate on our textures, our senses, right? our warmth, our breathing, our pulse, our shimmer. We have all these tools. While we are investigating these tools, then all the other things that we might have been thinking of begin to fade and diminish away. This is how we become more and more calm, more and more at ease, relaxed, tranquil. And for many, this is one's goal. I'd like to ask you to continue now on your own. Time is up for today's podcast. Namaste.